It has been a crazy last week, obviously because of this certain date, April Fool's. But there has been some news out there that we definitely need to take note of. Not things like, yeah, No Game No Life gets a second season, that's fake, but yeah, apparently a new Gundam TV series. It's been so long, over 5 years. I'm definitely excited for that. We also had some confirmation on some release dates for things like Made in Abyss, as well as Netflix apparently stating that they have had half of their audience watching anime. We'll see, but if you're interested in this news, definitely stay tuned. To kick things off, we have a trailer was released for Uncle in Another World. For those who don't remember, this is essentially a series about a guy whose uncle goes into a coma, and then when he wakes up, he comes to find out his uncle apparently has been an isekai the whole time. Definitely interested in this series. I really love the cover art for it, showing this elf girl that apparently is tsundere, but definitely be interested in that series. I think the big question mark that comes from that series is it going to have staying power? I think that's one of those ones that's either it's going to work really well or it's just going to absolutely flop. But the PV looks okay so far. It's kind of this idea of hinting at the uncle describing a tsundere character. In fact, when his uncle went under a coma, the idea of a tsundere hadn't been popularized yet. So the PV also announces that they will have a July release date for that. So summer, right around the corner, we'll be able to check out that series. I'm definitely hyped for it, though I have a little bit of a hesitation there. Jumping to our next bit, yes, Made in Abyss has finally had an announcement for their actual release date. We knew it was going to be this year. We just didn't know which season it was going to be. I think most people were kind of predicting probably a fall series, but no, in fact, it's going to be a summer series. It's going to be premiering in July, so that's super exciting there. They also released a new key art, so definitely some great art there. I cannot wait for this series. It's one of those ones where I can't wait, but at the same time, I'm terrified of it. So it's one of those series that you're obviously going in knowing you're going to be tortured, but I cannot wait for that either way. I love the characters. I love the world building. All that stuff is super fascinating, but yeah, cannot wait. If you have not watched it already, definitely check out the first season and the movie. Get caught up. Be ready for it. Moving on to some good news for some people, I guess. This is a funny one because this is one of those ones that's kind of partially an April Fool's joke, but partially actual news. I kind of give them credit for this particular one, but essentially they released a image on Twitter pretty much announcing a third season. It had like these cute little chibi characters putting up this sign saying third season announced, and obviously the big joke was going, how can you have a third season when you don't have a second season? Well, that was the whole joke. This sign was saying third season, one of the characters saying you can't do that, and then the sign drops and it says second season. So funny there. Good job, Anya. I really like that. This idea of joking, but then having an actual announcement. Typically, we get these really mean jokes around April Fool's saying, here's this great thing, can't wait. Oh yeah, by the way, haha, guess what day it is? You figured that out like 2 minutes after waking up, obviously, that it's going to be April Fool's Day. I'm not super into this series, so I'm excited for other people. I honestly thought it was a really kind of nasty show, and I didn't really care much for it, but I'm super excited for everybody else that's getting the series. I'm mixed on if I will be checking out the second season or not. Hopefully it maybe gets better after the first core, but there you go. Another one for me to not be excited about, but I'm excited for other people, is The Fruit of Evolution. That series apparently is getting a second season. Of all the shows that they could do second seasons for, Fruit of Evolution. Yay. This will go on another one of my list of why this and not Kageki Shoujo. I have that list somewhere. I need to make a whiteboard back here that just says why not Kageki Shoujo. But I'll take my wins when I can get them. Obviously, I've gotten several announcements from last year's anime that I'm super excited for. So there you go. The Fruit of Evolution, for all those that are fans of that series, definitely look forward to a second season. I'm excited for you guys. Good on you. They also released a key art for it as well as the website itself has a countdown for August 5th, which apparently I think is Crunchyroll Expo, so maybe they'll have an announcement at the expo, but we'll have to wait and see. Now moving on to some more interesting news. Apparently the director of anime creative at Netflix, Kohei Obata, apparently has stated to Variety that over half of Netflix worldwide audience watched anime last year. Now, the question mark here obviously is, what does he classify as anime? Technically, the Japanese classify anything that's animated to be anime. We only in the West do we say anime when referring to specifically Japanese animation. So that's one caveat you have to add to it, as well as the fact that Netflix themselves classify a lot of animated stuff as anime. I mean, like Castlevania and stuff like that, even though it's technically not produced by a Japanese company, it still classifies anime because it looks like anime, I guess. But they also did state that 90% of Japanese subscribers watched anime. And again, what animation is that? Is it anime, Japanese anime, or is it all animation? So again, when you see this news bit pop up, I know that every single company is pretty much titling their article as anime. And so that gets the clicks because people are going, holy crap, Netflix is huge on anime. But I will say this is a good news thing. I mean, obviously, with the whole thing with Crunchyroll and Funimation and Sony, that whole buyout and just kind of the flow of everything going to Crunchyroll, there is a fear of that monopoly aspect, that one company has control of everything and becomes a gatekeeper. Now, that's why I've significantly supported High Dive and Sentai Filmworks as an alternative, but this is a good sign that Netflix themselves is at least going to be a competitor against Sony. Now, granted, Netflix typically doesn't go after licensing TV anime like everything else does. They typically go after their own stuff. They have companies produce things specifically and exclusively for them. So it's not necessarily in the same realm of seasonal anime, but it's still a good sign that Netflix sees some sort of benefit in anime, that they see that it's something that is beneficial to them to do. Now, I hate the fact that Netflix is technically very, very closed-lip on exactly all their stats. Them saying that 50% or over half of their actual subscribers have watched anime last year could mean that somebody turned on one episode and then turned it off. That doesn't mean that 50% of their subscribers is watching a full season of anime. It could be, again, one episode. And again, it could be Castlevania, which I think that's probably going to be more the thing. Like, if there's some kind of Western, more popular title that's not anime, not Japanese anime, it's probably what you're going to have there. It's going to be some sort of Western animation that's from a big property. But again, I'll still hold my hope this is a sign to Netflix that they can be a competitor here. Because obviously Netflix is having problems. Let's not shy away from that. Netflix seems to be having problems. They're obviously getting desperate by forcing people who are outside their own household to have to pay for partial subscription. There's a lot of things really question mark around Netflix and all the properties they've lost and everything. So if they can find an outlet to, okay, well, anime is getting us subscribers, that's a good option, I'm for it. Now, the only thing that I'm against that, the only reason I don't like the idea of Netflix being a really strong competitor to things like Crunchyroll and High Dive, their subscription cost sucks. So if anybody at Netflix is listening to this, make a separate thing for anime. Like, make a Netflix anime, and you can subscribe to it, and the cost is similar to something like Crunchyroll, where it's like $8 or something like that, because I don't like the idea of subscribing for an entire month just to watch one show and then turn it off. But at any rate, however you take this news, if you want to take it from the perspective of the link clickbait title of, yeah, anime is huge on Netflix or whatever, that's fine. I just wanted to throw a little bit of grain of salt in there so that people keep in mind, keep in perspective what anime means. Moving on to our last bit of news, I am super excited for this. I have been waiting for a solid TV Gundam in so long. It has literally been since 2016 that we had Iron Blooded Orphans, and it was a phenomenal series. Now, yes, I acknowledge the fact that there's been Gundam Build Divers and stuff like that that's been out since then, but I'm talking about a mainline, gritty, more adult Gundam, and I am super excited to learn that Bandai Namco Group released a teaser video and visual for a new Gundam series, and that is Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. So I'm super excited for that. I cannot wait for another Gundam series. Obviously, I'm sorry. Let me back up a little bit. This isn't to be excited about the fact that it is a first TV Gundam in a long time. It's the first Gundam with a female protagonist. I forgot, that's the headline. That is what we have to focus on. That is a female. I don't care what gender the main character is. I just want more Gundam. And I'm sure she's going to be awesome. And I'm so looking forward to her. I think her art style is fantastic already. I think she looks great. I don't care that it's a female protagonist. I just care that it's a Gundam and it's a protagonist and they have a great story. So sorry, everybody. I meant to put that first. I meant to make that the priority here. The great thing also that came from this is not a teaser and then we have to wait. They have already announced that this will be releasing in October, so right around the corner. We have a pretty much a crazy fall already set up with a lot of anime coming back, including, Bleach and everything like that. So fall this year in total is going to be insane. Spring is already insane, summer looks great, and fall looks insane as well. So we have a lot of stuff to be excited for. They also announced that during this conference that they revealed that there were going to be a prequel project for this series. It's going to be called the same title, Prologue. This apparently is going to be a full-fledged project that is going to be releasing in summer, so I'm assuming some sort of prequel story to give us kind of context to the world or something in it itself. So again, Super excited for it. Cannot wait. It's been way too long since Iron Blood Orphans, which I think I established is probably my favorite Gundam of all time. It is just a fantastic series, and I cannot wait for more. I think the only thing that has me a little bit hesitant, I mean, I don't mind either way, is apparently when this was first announced back in the Daitukai Gundam conference last September, Koji Fujiwara had mentioned specifically that they are aiming to create a work that even younger generations will support. We are making bigger developments than ever before. The only thing that kind of has me hesitant with that is like with Gundam Iron Blood Orphans, it was pretty adult. I mean, technically Gundam in general has always been more adult. And I always felt like the Build Fighters and the Build Divers was kind of like their way of kind of capturing the younger audience. It obviously feels a lot more aimed, it's for a younger audience, it's less violent and everything. I always felt like the mainline Gundams have always been more mature, adult, and yes, have a lot of very adult themes within it. And so my only hesitation with this whole announcement is I hope that that wasn't a direct reference, like saying we are going to make this more for children. And obviously with a female protagonist, she looks a lot more in line with the art style of Iron Blood Orphans, but at the same time, I hope it doesn't turn into like a children's show. Yes, technically Gundam in its early stages has always been kind of aimed to grabbing a younger audience to get those Gunplas out there and stuff, but I don't want it to be super childlike, I guess is my main thing there, but we'll have to wait and see. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this news bit. As always, if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button down below. We definitely appreciate everybody's support. Hit a comment down there. Let me know what you're most excited about. Do you think I'm a little bit off base with being concerned about this Gundam? We'll wait and see. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video if you can. Support us on Patreon. I'll throw a tips link in the description below. We definitely appreciate everybody that supports us. And y'all take care.